All right, Wayne. Hi, everyone. Well, welcome to Chilliwack. I would like to invite my guest. Sorry, I would like to introduce my guest, James Harris. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's a pleasure, really. So now you own a driving school, right?
Yes. Red Road Driving School.
Okay, so when did you start it?
I started it at the beginning of the pandemic, of all things.
Oh, really? Wow, yeah, wow.
Yeah. Well, I used to work for on my reserve Seabird Island. We have a driving school there.
Okay.
So I used to work for them, and then I decided to take a chance and go on my own.
All right. So how's it going?
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's busy, but not too busy right now, which is just the way I like it.
You like it that way? Because I know you have to take somebody for their driving test after this interview, right?
I have to bring up to Hope and do a road test.
Oh, okay. By the way, I went to Hope yesterday with a friend of mine, and we did see some fire. I don't know the hills, you know?
Yeah, it's up above Hunter Creek.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that started closer to Hope, by that Flying J gas station across the highway,
Right.
but it slowly moved west,
Right.
and that's where it's at now.
So how's it? I'm sorry, I'm off the topic of your business, but I'm just sort of curious, you know, because we live in a bad time when it comes to the environment, right? So has Seabird been affected by floods or fire or anything?
I think it was 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, right at the other end of Seabird Island, where they call it Wallach Hill. There was a fire there one year.
Okay.
And it went up mountain and always around the side, just like up in Hope there.
Right.
But and then in November last year, when they had that they call it the atmospheric rain river,
Yes.
or river or whatever.
Mhm.
But all that rain that made a slide happen right there where the fire was that
Right.
a couple of years back.
Wow.
And that's the one that one of the major ones that shut down the highways.
Right. Wow. Now let's get back to Red Road Driving School. How did you decide on the name?
It took a while. Me and my wife talked about it. There was 2 different names I came up with. One was I'm on my way, and the other was we thought of Red Road Driving School because I think it's the Lakota people. They always talk about taking the red road and to people improving their lives and stuff like that.
The Red Road needs improving your life.
That's what I took that from the Lakota people's.
Oh, that's really cool.
Saying. So I figured me and my wife talked about it and said, well, Red Road and Driving School, so let's call it Red Road Driving School for all the people who want to take a next step in their life or change their lives and do better for themselves. So.
Is it mostly First Nations people?
No, it's everybody.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I had I think I had some people from Jamaica,
What?
Mexico. What's that?
But why? Okay, obviously they live here.
Yes.
Because I was just thinking, you're not going to come all the way here to get to learn to drive.
So, yeah, they moved here and they were trying to get their driver's license in BC. They had license. Some of them have license from where they came from, but because they have to get a BC license.
Okay. So now, obviously, you've been at this type of work for a long time, right?
Yes.
So are there better drivers like do you see some people that you shouldn't be driving?
There, once in a while, I see somebody that I in my mind, I think shouldn't be driving, but I won't tell them that because it's my job to make them a better driver.
Yeah.
Help them be a better driver.
I remember years ago, I had a driving instructor, but he kept overcorrecting, like he had access to the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, he didn't. Sorry. He would reach over and he'd overcorrect me all the time, and it was so upsetting for, So I forget how it happened, but I contacted the school and I said, if I have to have that guy again, it's not going to work for me because it wasn't very professional and wasn't helping me.
Yes.
It was making me more nervous.
Yeah. I get a lot of people, well, in general, I think it is no matter where you live, no matter which country you're from, no matter what, parents always have a hard time teaching their children how to drive.
Yes.
No matter where you're from.
Right.
I think fathers mostly have the least patience.
So do you have children?
I do.
Yeah, so did you teach them?
I did actually.
Oh, okay.
I had 2 sons and 2 daughters, and I actually lost 2 of them, one last year and
Oh,
one 4 years ago.
oh, I'm so sorry to hear
Yeah.
that.
But I have a son and a daughter yet, and I have actually 2 daughters now, because when we were living up in Hope years ago, my daughter had a really good friend.
Mhm.
She was from Saskatchewan, and she kind of adopted us as we adopted each other as family. So we're like her
Yeah.
parents, and her kids call us grandparents too. So,
That's very nice.
but I taught them how to drive,
Mhm.
and then I took my granddaughter and my grandson out for lessons too.
Very good. All right, that is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Oh, but speaking of adoption, I'm up for adoption, just so you know.
Okay,
Okay, I want to get adopted before I turn 80.
how much time do you have left for that then?
5.5 years.
5.5 years?
Yeah.
I'll find somebody for that.
No, is it okay if I change the topic and
Sure.
talk about, like, we just went through the Truth and Reconciliation
Mhm.
day, which was like my first time going to a powwow.
Okay.
And then I went to a healing ceremony. That's all right, it happens all the time. I have to unplug my intercom so that people don't call. So I went to a healing ceremony for the first time. General Charlie invited me.
Okay, oh, good.
And that was so moving. I think, like, as a white person of European descent, we have nothing like that. You know, we don't gather and try to heal each other the way First Nations people do. So I was just so moved by it. It was really awesome. So I plan to do this every year now.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
And there's other things you can attend to, like it's not just that.
Okay.
Like there's other powwows they have at schools and stuff like that. And
Right.
you know, like Seabird, we haven't had it for the last 2 years because of COVID.
Right.
But we have canoe races out there every year. Soccer tournaments, ball tournaments, last weekend of every May.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Diana, Charlie asked me, have you ever been in a longhouse? And I said, no. You know, because where I grew up, I'm from New Brunswick originally.
Okay.
My auntie lived right across, like, was a little town called Campbellton. My auntie, who's First Nations, lived right across the bridge. And like when she married my mother's brother, she couldn't live on the reserve anymore. So that was my first knowledge of First Nations people.
Okay.
And we always, my family, we talk about this, we always felt that we were special because we had an auntie who was First Nations. And then we moved to Montreal when I was young, and we didn't meet First Nations people. There was, like, I lived on the island of Montreal itself, and there's Gananoque, which is off the island, where close to where my brother lives. So we just never contacted with them. Then you come up to BC here, and there's so many Indigenous people. And it's just such a beautiful learning experience for me anyway. You know?
Yeah, I feel that BC is more open to our people than other places.
Yeah, it could be, eh?
I don't know, it just seems, I don't know, more open.
Right, yeah. Like this past summer, we went down to New Brunswick because my oldest brother lives there, and then we were going to go visit our auntie. Because I wanted to know, we never talked about the residential schools with her or anything like that. So I wanted to ask her questions, but she had died the morning we arrived.
Oh, no, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. So it was, it's like, oh my gosh. But it was stuff like my family, like, we always knew or heard of that, the residential school, but we didn't know to the extent. We didn't know. Somebody told me about all the testing and experimenting. It's like, oh my gosh, that's new information to me, sorry, you Christian people, but I'm so anti-religion. It's really tough for me to be okay with that. And I grew up in a Catholic school with nuns, and it was really, not my favorite people. So anyway, so now you've got your school going, and like you say, it's busy enough the way you want it to be.
Yes.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. If you weren't doing that, what would you be doing, do you think?
Well, before this too, I was also a bus driver for the Seabird Island School.
Oh, you were?
So I was doing the morning bus run, and I was doing driving lessons for the Seabird driving school.
Right.
Then I did the afternoon bus run.
So everything involved driving in your life,
Yes.
pretty much, right?
Yes.
So now what age were you when you started driving the school bus?
Uh, 47 maybe, it
Oh,
was like
okay.
only like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, I was just kind of curious, how that all happened. So, now, for your business, do you have a vision of the way you want it to be?
Well, I, right now, the way I run it is, my prices, my rates are lower than a lot of other places.
Mhm.
And one of the main reasons why I wanted to get the school up and going is because I know a lot of our people can't afford driving lessons.
Okay,
They're very expensive.
are they? Okay.
Well, even mine at my rates, I find it very expensive because I wouldn't be able to afford my rates in this day and age.
Yeah, right.
And especially because of the price of gas, everything's going up, right?
Yes,
I'm trying to not to raise my prices. I raised it once already by $5.
right,
an
but it's
hour.
hard, right? As you
It
said,
is.
everything's going up.
It is. And where I live in Agassiz or Seabird, it's between 20 minutes to Hope, 20 minutes to Chilliwack here. There's transit buses, but they only run like from 8 till whatever. And a lot of people who need to get to Chilliwack, their jobs start at 8.
Yes, right.
So people need their license, people need to go to work, to go to school,
Yeah.
bring their kids to wherever they need to go.
Mhm.
So then, my idea was to, have it so people can afford it. Well, sort of afford it,
Yeah,
but,
without losing money.
yeah, exactly. And it's different. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying this or not, but I go pick up the students.
Mhm.
I know some of the schools do, but, sometimes they add it in the.
Another cost, yeah.
But when I go, I'll just, we'll say like, if it's 10 o'clock and they're in Chilliwack here, I'll leave at 9:30
Okay,
to come and pick up the student. And then their time doesn't start from 10 o'clock until for an hour.
right. So, now, if somebody signs up for a driving license, how many lessons do they get?
However much they want.
Oh, okay.
And that's another thing that I'm different, I think, because, I think some places they have set lessons. And I'm thinking that because we live out in the valley or more towards Hope there, we don't have like all the traffic lights and traffic like you do here in Chilliwack.
Right.
So I'll just drive, some places I'll drive would be kind of like, I don't know if other schools would do it. I take the back road from Agassiz to Chilliwack. I think it's Camp River Road or something.
Right, okay, yeah.
We'll go that way because, out there or in Agassiz, the roads are straight. You come down that road, they're nice and windy.
Yeah,
So I tell the student, we need to get you to learn some steering and speed control.
for sure, yeah.
So that's where I do it. And I joke around with them and it says, if you go too far to the right, you probably won't be able to get home later because you'll be going in the ditch.
Not a good thing.
Yeah.
One of the things I'll always remember from when I was taught, when I was driving licenses, driving lessons, sorry, the teacher said, like, your hands will follow your eyes, right? So if you're looking that way, you're gonna go that way,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it was an important lesson for me because
Yes.
I hadn't been aware of that, And when a parent teaches you, they sometimes forget those little things.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And there's little things on your road test that they don't talk about in your book that you read. Like they don't tell you that you have to shoulder check before you open your door.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Little things like that. I had one student, he said that he got fooled one time because it was a real sunny day out, kind of like today.
Mhm.
He asked the examiners, can I use my sunglasses? And he said, yeah, sure, go ahead. So he went and did his whole road test and everything, and he did great. He was sure he was going to pass. They got back to wherever he did his exam, and he said that the examiner failed him. And he said, well, why did you fail me? He said, well, I couldn't see you scanning the roads or checking your mirrors or anything.
Oh.
And he said, my friend said, well, I was. And he said, well, you could have been, but I didn't see you because you had sunglasses on. So that's how we got there.
That wasn't nice. I mean, he okayed the glasses, so oh wow. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of your driving school, how would they do that?
I haven't been advertising at all.
Okay.
I really haven't. It's word of mouth. People talk about it on Facebook.
So you are on Facebook, people can,
I'm not even on Facebook,
oh,
just people's Facebook talking about me.
oh, I see, okay, all right,
And I have the letters on my phone number in my car.
right.
I do have business cards, but not with me right now.
Wait, I see your phone number, no, there's none on there,
No phone
okay,
number.
all right, so,
But I do have business cards. I have magnets I've been sticking over every time we gas up. I put a magnet on the gas pump. They always seem to be disappearing, so somebody's taking them.
somebody's taking them, that's really good, yeah, so maybe they're just collecting,
Yeah.
little signs.
But yeah, it's mostly word of mouth.
Okay,
I want to start a Facebook page, but I'm not really good with
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
The problem, I think, for a business, like you pay for that, yeah, in my opinion, you're just better off doing it as your person, like yourself,
Oh, yeah.
and have it what you do, like under your profile.
Oh, yes.
Just
Okay.
put your driving school, with your phone number, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rather than having a business page.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's what I do. Like I have my show, this
Okay.
show, and I do this for free. So, I don't get paid for it. So I don't want a business page,
Okay.
even though Facebook tries to set me up all the time. Well,
Oh.
just this much money, you can get this many more people. And it's like, well, no, I'm not getting paid. Why would I pay to advertise,
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, it's just a suggestion for you, that people will see it anyway, right? If you just under your profile and
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah.
Oh, and at Seabird, they pass my name out to people if they get too busy there too at the Seabird Driving School.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully this will help,
Yeah.
right?
There's another driving school that I guess we kind of work together. If I get too busy and somebody needs a lesson in Chilliwack, I'll pass their name on, or if they get too busy with somebody to Eggs, you hope they'll pass my name on.
Yeah, very good.
So that comes up pretty good.
Sounds great. Well, I'm just, I don't know any other questions to ask, so.
I also do class 4.
Oh, you do?
Unrestricted. I bought a bus too.
Yeah.
A 21 passenger bus.
Right?
And I'm trying to get lessons on that. I know a lot of our communities, they have buses but no drivers.
Yeah, right.
And so
I interviewed this guy who was can't remember if he's a supervisor, what he does for the first responders, and to get a job as like driving an ambulance or anything like that, you need your class 4, right?
okay, yeah.
So I'm just learning about that, like
Oh,
I don't know all the different classes, so that's interesting to know that you teach that. Now, is that more expensive than just the
it kind of
car?
it is. Because of the price of gas again, and how big the tank is on the bus and how much gas it actually uses.
Right.
So
what if, what people always does anybody ever want lessons with their own vehicle?
yes.
So what if somebody had a electric car? It doesn't matter to you, right?
No. If somebody has a road test coming up, and they want lessons, but they're going to use their own vehicle, I'll say, depending on how much lessons they want, I'll say, first, let's go in my car.
Okay.
And then if you want a lesson the day of or the day before your road test, then we'll use your car.
Ah, okay, right. I failed the first time, by the way.
I didn't get mine till my 3rd try.
Okay, then I didn't do so bad. But I think the second time when I took my test, I was pregnant, and I was probably about 8 months pregnant. And I think the person that was testing me was probably worried that I might have the baby, so I better pass me. Now I no longer drive.
When I did my first road test, I was so nervous. I was just sweating like crazy.
Yeah. And you black out, right?
Yes.
Because I failed because I didn't see people wanting to cross at the crosswalk.
Oh.
Crosswalk. I didn't even notice it because it's so like you said, you're so nervous. Oh my gosh.
When we did the pre-trip on the car, when I did lessons with my parents' car, at that time, when you put it on high beam, there was that button on the floor.
Yes.
You push the button.
Yeah.
And then when I did my road test, that's when things were changing, and they moved it from the floor to the signal.
Right.
So the guy says, well, go ahead and turn your high beams on. So I stomped on the floor, stomping, and he's laughing at me. And finally he says, no, they're up here now.
I always found that like when I did drive, you get used to your own vehicle,
Yes.
obviously, but sometimes, you, for what various reasons, you have to drive another vehicle, and it's really intimidating sometimes,
Yes.
I drove a truck. I can't remember what it's 450 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, it was so huge. Had trouble reaching the pedal, but anyway, it was good though.
I had a friend in Mission, you know, Mission's all hills, right?
Yes, yeah.
So he was doing his road test and he was coming down the hill. And in those days, when you did the road test, when they asked you to do your handstands, you had to do it while you were driving. Nowadays, they just sit you in a parking lot and say, show me your hand signals.
Oh, okay.
But we did it when we were driving. So the examiner said, okay, start gearing down and we're going to turn left
Right.
and use your hand signal. So he said, okay. So he starts gearing down and he sticks his hand out the window.
Oh
and
my
he's gearing.
gosh.
And then he was wondering why I failed.
Yeah, I actually, I tried to learn on not an automatic. Standard. Oh, that was so difficult, and the vehicle we had, I was with my ex at the time. So like you had to be like this, 1 foot over here and 1 foot over there, and it was like when you're short, it's really, really difficult. So that never worked. And I said to him, if you want me to drive, you better get an automatic so that I can actually reach everything. Anyway, so I just want to thank you for doing this, and I'm just going to talk to the audience here. So I've been talking to James Harris, and he has Red Road Driving School in Seabird out here in the Fraser Valley area. You can, should be your name itself. Is it on Facebook itself? Your name? Not yet, right?
Not yet. No.
No. Okay. So if you want to get a hold of him, you can always contact me, and I'll pass the message along to him. So thanks for watching the show, everybody. And if you enjoy the show, it would be really nice if you like and share and subscribe. And here's one other thing. Be nice. Costs you nothing. Okay, everybody? Peace out.